Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We'll just wait for a few more seconds for everyone to get settled in. Have your notebook and ready to go with pen and paper for this informative, interactive webinar that Emily is presenting today. Some of the housekeeping items. This is a recorded webinar, so in case you have to step out, answer a phone call, at the conclusion of today's webinar, you'll be receiving the video link along with the presentation as well. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, I encourage you to ask them. This is an interactive webinar, so we could definitely go back and forth with some ideas, some of your personal insights of what are some challenges you're experiencing in your website, and we'll be more than happy to answer it on your behalf. Also, there's a good opportunity for you to introduce yourself, to network amongst all of our peers that are in today's webinar. So, what type of business do you have? Do you have a website? What's your digital marketing strategies that you have for this year? Like that, we're having a good idea to tailor for you in the webinar. Also, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. I'll be moderating the Q&A in the chats, so that will be in good standing. So I want to thank you all for attending today's webinar. Once again, my name is Jesus Padilla. I am the manager of administrative services here at the Florida SBDC at FIU. And I also have Emily de Armas. She is our marketing consultant under the Miami-Dade Business Navigator program.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Sherry, how are you? Next slide. A brief description of what is the Miami-Dade Business Navigator program is funded through a cooperative agreement through the Small Business Administration. The program is comprised as a lead hub. In this case, it is the Florida SBDC at FIU, as a center of network of spoke organizations that deploy community advocates to work with you, the small business owners, in the recovery and the resiliency. The overall goal is simple, is to work with you, the small business owners that are owned by veterans, women, as well as socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. As you have heard, Florida SBDC at FIU is the lead hub in this exciting program. Along that, we're working with the 6 other spoke organizations. As such, we have Ascendis, branches, the EDC of South Miami-Dade, Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce, Prospera, and Startup FIU Procurement. All these 7 organizations are able to assist you at no cost. And it is the ecosystem that we are striving here in the county, that you'll be able to work with all these 7 organizations at once. So once again, the overall focus is to create that local community navigator approach here in Miami-Dade County. If your business is located in Palm Beach, Broward, Monroe, we'll be more than happy to assist you. If you're outside of that area, by all means, feel free to email me, which I'll put in the chat, and I'll be able to connect you with your local small business assistance resource partner, in which the goal is to, once again, to create that local community navigator approach in 3 pillars: in consulting, mentoring, and training. And without further ado, allow me to reintroduce to you to Emily de Armas, as she'll be presenting today's webinar. Emily, the floor is yours.
All righty. So today we're going to talk about what the goal is of having a business website. And we're going to start with this, right? So what I want everybody to understand is that a website is the place where your brand message lives online. And if you are a business, whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for a while, a website will give you credibility, because once somebody hears about your business, most likely they're going to Google you, they're going to go and try to find your website. The other thing that a website does is it communicates your value to prospective clients and customers. So it lets people understand why they should buy, why they should do business with you. And if your website is done correctly, it can actually pave the way for leads to turn into clients. So people who might visit your website, they'll see the information on there, they'll call, they'll book, they'll come in, they'll take that next step to actually being a client. So why does this matter? Well, on a website, you have approximately 3 seconds to capture somebody's attention. And unfortunately, 70% of businesses don't show their value on the homepage. So the top two channels for customer research online is reading reviews at 55% and looking at the actual company website at 47%. So people are definitely going to look at your website. So it's important that it's doing what it needs to do to help you grow your business. So let's talk a little bit about brand messaging. So messaging is pretty much just communicating what you do in a way that will make other people care about it and then take action. So your website should help prime people to become clients. That means that it answers a lot of questions that people have. And we mainly do this by addressing one subconscious question that's on everyone's minds when they come to your website. And that is, am I in the right place? Right? They need something, a product or a service. And when they go to your website, in the back of their minds, they're thinking, is this business for me? Am I in the right place? Unfortunately, most businesses don't answer that question on their website, and then they lose out on potential clients and on money, right? And the reason that that happens is because the problem is that most business websites don't communicate the true value of their services and their products. And most business owners are stuck in what I call business speak. So it's very professional, it's very generic, but it doesn't really have a lot of personality, and it doesn't make anyone want to take that next action, which is to call you or book you or buy from you. But we can fix this. It's something that you do every single day, and that is speaking like a real life human being, right? There's a lot of pressure on us as business owners. And so when we have a website, we can sometimes feel like, oh, I have to be super professional now, and I have to, be really credible. And that's great. And that might be true depending on your industry, but it can also mean that we kind of miss out on an opportunity to actually talk like a real human being and connect with another person. So this is a quick check for you to do if you have a business website. If you're doing these three things, then it might be time to work on it a little bit. So the first one is, when I first go to your website, what do we see at the top? Is it welcome to XYZ business? So if that's the first thing that people see, that means you're not really leading with what the value is. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. So you might want to change that. The second thing is if you talk about your mission statement before you're telling the ideal client why they should care, right? Why is this important? Why is your business special? Why are your services different from another business doing the same thing, right? We only have 3 seconds to make an impression. So the client has to be able to see themselves. That means that when they go to your website, they know that you're talking to them, right? If your target is women, do they know that you're talking to them when they go to the website? Is that obvious? So your website pretty much earns you the right to sell, and you do that by first answering the question, am I in the right place? So what we're going to talk about today is, what is a value proposition? That's a fancy marketing word, and we're going to describe what that is. I'm going to show you examples. Then we're going to talk about the benefits of your product and your service, and it's usually not what most people think. So I'm going to give you some examples there too. We're going to talk about testimonials, and we're going to talk about a call to action. So all these things are things that you definitely need on your homepage. We're going to go through all of them. So the first thing, value proposition. Right? A value proposition pretty much answers these two things. Who is your primary audience, and what problem are you solving for them? So who are we talking to, and what it is that you do for them? So here's some examples. Bookkeeping, taxes, and accounting for fully remote businesses. Facials and beauty treatments, so people will compliment your skin and not your makeup, right? Experts in keeping your marble floors shiny and damage-free for over 30 years. Artisan brownies and cookies without preservatives, right? So these are differentiators, and these are ways that we are explaining a little bit about the business, but we're also showing the value right up front. So let's look at some real life examples. So this is a weighted blanket. And you'll see here, this is right on their homepage up at the top. It says the best weighted blanket to reduce stress and fall asleep faster. So already they're telling us what it does and what the benefit is. I'm going to fall asleep faster. And then the next line, it says, Hush will provide you with a constant comforting hug wherever it's needed. That's just a little extra tidbit that they included. But something that's really cool is that they show you the ratings right up at the top, right? So they're showing us that this is rated 4.9 stars and it has 5,000 plus reviews. So already it's telling me I can trust this. A lot of other people like it, and it's telling me what it does and how it's going to help me. Let's look at this one. So this is a company that actually manages websites. So it says manage your business, not your website. Website management plans for WordPress and Joomla-based websites. And look at this little paragraph underneath that. Don't have time to learn web technology yourself, short on in-house staff with specialized skills necessary to effectively maintain, manage, and grow your website. We can help. So already we know that they're talking to business owners and we know what it is that they do, right? And most business owners can probably relate to this because they don't have time to be messing around with their websites, and they may not have staff either that really knows a lot about websites. Here's another one. So this is a candle company. They make these really pretty candles in these interesting containers. And so this is some examples of what we could do to change it to make it better. So right at the top, they're saying, welcome to River Chic Candles, okay? They could add a little more detail. They could talk a little bit more about the actual product, about any kind of special materials that they use. You know, they're showing us a picture, so we already get an idea, but that welcome to River Chic Candles, we don't really need it, okay? Then they say, we hand pour each candle, made special just for you in Adele, Georgia. Okay. Maybe they can give us more detail about the hand poured, right? Like, what is that? What's the container? And then the next thing is that we see a phone number right up at the top, okay? This is usually asking too much too soon because people have barely gotten on the website. Like if you've ever gone to a website and you get a pop-up 2 seconds and you're like, I haven't even read anything yet. And you're already asking me questions. You're throwing this pop-up in my face, right? It can be a little annoying and it can be a little too aggressive. And in this case with the website, I would put the number further down. I wouldn't lead with that because you haven't given people a chance to even really check out what this is about. Here's another one. This is MailChimp. Some of you might be familiar if you use MailChimp. So this is build your brand, sell more stuff, right? That's really the goal of MailChimp, is to help you have a brand for your emails and to be able to use your emails to sell more. And then they're telling us about their credibility, because this is MailChimp is the world's largest marketing automation platform. It's like a second brain that helps millions of customers from small e-commerce shops to big online retailers find their audience, engage their customers, and build their brand. So they're already telling us, again, a lot of people use this, and look at all these different things that we can do, right? Whether you're a small e-commerce shop or a big online retailer, this is the place for you. Here's another one. This one says build, publish, and A/B test landing pages without IT. So unless you're in this industry, you might have no idea what any of this means. This is something that is specifically for marketers, and marketers are going to get this, right? So they're talking directly to their ideal customer because they know that their ideal customer will already understand all this mumbo jumbo. And so that's something to think about, right? How can you use that first hit on the website when people see it up at the top to convey and express, hey, I get you, you get me, we're on the same page here, right? Something else that I thought was kind of cool on this one is how they have the little steps at the bottom in the circles. It says 1, build a page, 2, publish it, 3, test and optimize. So if you have a service or a product that involves a step-by-step situation like that, then it could be good to put it in visual form and have a graphic. Okay, so here's another one. This is a salon. And what I notice about this is that there's a lot of text right up at the top, right? So there's a big paragraph. Typically people, when we see a big paragraph online, people will skip over it because it's just too much, right? Especially if you're looking at it on a phone, that can just seem like a really big block of text. So give a lot of white space to the text on your website. Don't do big paragraphs because I'm telling you, nobody's going to read them. And then all your hard work is going to waste. So that's the first thing. It's hard to read. The second thing is that they're promoting a bunch of stuff. They're saying we have instructional and technical classes. We have quality salon and spa services. It says nail care, hair removal, facials, peels. Like there's a lot going on in this one little paragraph. So it's stick to the main thing that they want the person to know. And then further down, we can do an overview of all of the services, but it's just too much information, right? Too much too soon. Here's another example. This is a company that makes these little phone cases. It says, you care about the planet. Pella makes it easy to show it, right? And then we can tell that they were running some kind of back to school special because it says up to 40% off when you buy 2 items or more. And like the very first example we looked at with the weighted blanket, they're also telling us about the reviews. So we know people like them, right? They have the little banner up at the top again with the sale. So that's a great thing to do. Your website doesn't have to stay the same all the time. If you have a special deal going on, you're going to want to promote it and make sure that it's up at the top of the website. Here's another one. This is everything you need to get business done. Over 100,000 independent businesses trust HoneyBook to manage projects, book clients, send invoices, and get paid, right? This is very simple. You'll notice that we're not seeing this massive image, like it's just text, but that one sentence is explaining a lot to us about the service. Okay, so here's another one. This is actually from Azúcar Ice Cream, if anybody's ever been there on 8th Street in Miami. So this is what you see when you first go up to the top of the page, or at least when I took this screenshot, right? There's really nothing. Like there's a cute picture of somebody getting some ice cream, and that's nice. But maybe they could choose a different photo, something that's more up close so I can really see the ice cream. And their call to action, which is where they're asking people to take the next step, is way too far down the page. So I don't know what they really want me to do here, right? And there's no value proposition. They could have a line there about like the unique flavors that they offer, or something else telling me about what it's made with, right? Or like one of the top ice cream locations in all of Dade County. I don't know. They could do something a little bit more with this. Here's another one. This is an insurance company. It says, before, now, and always, we're here for you. Get your hero rewards. Connect to the local specialist today to maximize how much you save on a home. Qualifying heroes, firefighters, law enforcement, military, homes for heroes. Oh, maybe this isn't insurance, but anyway, it's very clear what they want you to do. The call to action is right up there, and they're telling us underneath that how many people they've already helped and how much money they've helped them save. So that's a great little testimonial to get people to take action. And this one is very interesting because this is a drinks company, and they're not telling us about what's in it. They're telling us about what you feel when you drink it, right? We canned a feeling. So it's very interesting. Right? I think a lot of people can relate to, having a nice beverage, as a way to relax. And so they're going with that angle versus like, we're not made with preservatives or something else. So you can get creative with it. And I wanted to show you that example. Okay, so now that we've done value propositions, let's talk about why leading with your mission statement is a mistake, right? When we were in school, we were taught to write a 5-paragraph essay, but for websites, we need to do it in the reverse, right? You don't have time to be doing an intro because no one will ever get to the bottom of your website. We need to hit them with the most important information up at the top so that we capture their attention within the first 3 seconds that they're on the website. And then they'll look around and they'll click and they'll go to your other pages. But we can't spend a lot of time with intros and long-winded communication up at the top, because then they're just going to bounce. They're going to leave, and we're not going to have that ability to capture them. Okay, let's talk about benefits. Okay, so benefits is really about what it is that you do and the end result that you provide for clients. So the benefits, and talking about that, is how people will understand the value of your product or services. So a lot of websites will talk about what, who, when, where, and how, but your mission statement will answer, why, but it's not the most important why, because the most important why that we need to tackle is, why should they care? We have to, remember that people are busy, people are distracted these days. They're landing on your website. We have to really show them why they should care. And we have to do that by talking about what they want more so than what it is that you do. So I know that's a little confusing, but we're going to look at some examples. Okay. So there's something that we call features and benefits. A feature will describe what your product is or what your service is, but a benefit will describe why it actually matters. Okay. So features are great, but features don't create any emotion. And that's a problem because people buy based on emotion. They don't really buy based on features, right? Every purchase decision is emotional. So this is an iPod, right? If you remember iPods. So storage of 16 gigabytes, for MP3s, like, okay, what does that mean? 16 gigabytes, like that's a feature. But if we look on the right hand, it says 1,000 songs in your pocket. Oh, okay, right? I'm guessing with 16 bytes of MP3s, you get 1,000 songs in your pocket, right? But when you put it in that language, 1,000 songs in your pocket, that's a lot more appealing, right? Than just 16 gigabytes. Like, what is that? Here's another one, right? If we're talking about ice cream, gluten-free, no added sugar, organic. Those are all great, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't be providing this information, but we also need to put in this extra stuff that you see on the right. Guilt-free, all you can eat healthy ice cream, right? That's a lot more appealing, and that creates an emotion versus with the gluten-free, no added sugar, organic. Here's another one, a basic umbrella, right? So features, it's unbreakable design, it's waterproof, it has a wooden handle. Okay. The benefits, protects from sun rays, and it blocks out raindrops, right? They could have probably taken this further and we could have made it a little bit, better, but we're not talking necessarily about what it's made out of. We're talking about what it does, right? So you can see the difference. So for example, if we're going to talk about a catering company, okay, and they're serving a variety of custom menus for large parties, a way that we could talk about that is customizable menus to fit any event theme to make for memorable meals your guests will love, right? You could list out a bunch of the different options and things like that, but really this is getting to the point. This is what people want. They want to be able to customize the menu, and they want people to remember it, and they want people to like the food. Here's another one. If you're a real estate agent, helping you navigate buying your first home so you can get through the paperwork and into your new space, right? That's all that they want. They want to be done with the paperwork. They want to be in there. They want to be moving in. All the stuff in between is necessary, and it's the steps we have to take. But what they really want is that end result of being inside of their new home. Here's another one, a management company. So they could say, we offer 3 tiers that include multiple services to run your business smoothly, or we grow with you by providing 3 tiers that set you up to scale your business, right? Notice also how one of them kind of sounds a little more robotic and the other one sounds a little bit more friendly, still professional, but a little more relatable. Okay, so how do you figure this out for your own business, your own products or services? We're going to ask, so what, a bunch of times. Like an annoying kid that keeps asking the same question again, why is the sky blue? Why this? Why that? Right? This is what we're going to do. So let's say that your business provides luxury rentals. Okay, well, so what about that? Why should people care about that? Well, we do that so that people can have an amazing vacation experience. Okay, so what? So that they don't have to figure it out on their own. Okay, so what? So they don't stress about details or planning. Okay, so what? So they feel taken care of, pampered with white glove service. So what? So they have a memorable, pleasant, and relaxing experience, right? We're moving and we're getting a little bit deeper with it. So you just keep asking, so what, again and again and again. And so you really get to the bottom of why somebody would want your thing, right? Why they want your product or your service. Okay, so now that we've talked about value proposition and we've talked about benefits, we need to talk about credibility and social proof. So a lot of those examples that I showed you, they had testimonials, they had reviews. So those are so important because people will believe other people and their experiences. So we want to make sure you have a lot of testimonials and you have a lot of reviews. So this is what would lead to credibility, right? If you've won any awards, if you have any kind of features in the media, right? If you did an interview somewhere, if you have a certification or a license, or you have a certain number of years of experience, or you have a certain number of sales, right? These are all things that will count to credibility. And then when we look at social proof or testimonials, we want to keep them short. Okay, nobody has time to be reading long paragraphs. Okay, they're not going to. Just assume they won't. And so it's a waste of your time to include them on your website. Okay. If people are leaving reviews on Google, let them say whatever they want. But when you're going to take those and you're going to put them on your website, ideally we're editing them down. We're not changing what they're saying, but we're going to take little pieces of what they said so that we can highlight the most important part. Okay. And especially we want to highlight, am I in the right place? We want to answer those questions. So we want to talk about the before and the after. We want to talk about results, right? Oh, I think I went. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, great. So you want to use testimonials as an opportunity to reassure your customers, right? And then answer these questions. So some people might think, this is too expensive. I don't know if this is the best option. Well, I don't think I could really do this because blah, 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 right? People have these reasons in their head that they're not going to be able to buy your product or service, or it's not going to work for them. And so a testimonial will help you get past that. Okay. So for example, if you know that your services are expensive, a testimonial like it was an investment, but I got a return of 3x in results. Okay, great. Let's say that you have a lot of competition, a testimonial that says, I went to several salons, but this one's the absolute best, right? Can you see how we're starting to change what somebody might be thinking in their head, right? We're giving them reasons to buy our stuff. The last one, if your client is unsure and you want something that will give them confidence, a testimonial like, I'm not techie at all, but it was really easy and simple to follow along, right? That would work really well for somebody who's a real estate agent maybe, or, something that people kind of feel a little like worried about. You want to make sure that you know what those blocks are and why people don't want to move forward so that you can write the best testimony. You can include the best testimonials. Okay, and then last but not least, we need a call to action. We have to tell people exactly what we want them to do. So after they're on your homepage, what do you want them to do? Do you want them to go to a services page? Do you want them to click on a bestseller section? Do you want them to call you? We need to actually spell it out and literally tell them step by step what we want them to do. Okay, that could be sign up for an email list. That could be go to the contact page. I'm sure you've seen on websites little message bots that pop up and say, do you have any questions, right? We want to make it easy for people to reach you and for people to ultimately take that next step. Okay, so that is all that you would need on your business website, particularly on your homepage. So I am going to stop sharing. We can go back to any slides if you have questions, and I will hand it over to Jesus to read through what we've got.
Yes, for credibility and testimonials, what page would it be posted onto the website?
You should have those on your homepage as close to the top as possible, because we cannot count that people are going to take the time to scroll all the way down. So that's one thing I see a lot is people have testimonials, but it's all the way down at the bottom, and we want to try to get them closer up to the top, either credibility or testimonials, one or the other, but something closer to the top.
Okay. Okay. Let me see if there's any additional questions. Okay. And then in terms of the websites, like which is a good domain? Is it like GoDaddy or like to get pictures and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I would say to buy your domain, GoDaddy is probably just like the easiest one. As far as the actual website platform that you build it out on, it's going to depend on your business. Like if you're trying to sell things online, Shopify can be really good. If you have anything that's kind of complicated or more intense, you might need some more features on it. WordPress is always one that a lot of people use as well, but there's so many out there. And then for images, there are a few websites where you can get free stock images. So one of them is called Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S, I think. And the other one is called Unsplash, unsplash.com. And so you can go and you can find images on there to help you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I also use Pixabay.
Oh, okay.
And it's pretty cool because it's like, based on what messaging you wanted in terms of like the cartoonish or like the animations or actual serious images.
Yeah.
Also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, images on websites are good too, just because a lot of text people are going to go, I don't want to read all this. But if you have images of you doing whatever that you're doing, that's definitely something you want to have on the.
And then could you please tell us about the balance between images and words? As we need to boost the SEO, we should need some keywords and it could increase them.
Yeah. So balance of images and words, it's going to depend partially on the kind of business. So obviously if you're selling stuff online, you need a lot more images because we need to show what you're actually selling. But if you're a service-based business, I would just say you want to think of it as having like a block of text and then an image. And the image doesn't have to go across the entire page. It can be just a smaller image and then another block of text and then another smaller image, but you want to kind of try to go back and forth and change things. It doesn't always need to be an image. You could have a graphic, like you could have really big text and then smaller text, but just to kind of keep it moving so people have that opportunity. And then you can put some meta tags in with your images. So when you upload the image, usually you can rename it. So that would be a place where you can put in some of your keywords for SEO.
Yeah. And then for Unsplash, it's Unsplash, right?
Unsplash,
Unsplash.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, because I'm putting it in the chat. So like that, you know, we always like doing the referrals in threes. So right there, you could definitely pick and choose and do due diligence between the three of them. Okay. And then okay, and then Inez, my recommendation is to register in the link to schedule a meeting with Emily, and she'll definitely will be able to provide you feedback and guidance on your value proposition.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And then once again, this is a recorded webinar, so we'll be able to upload it at the YouTube channel. All registrants will be receiving the today's presentation along with the link to meet with Emily and our other consultants as well. Once again, it's no cost to you. Okay, now let me see if I have some additional questions. Okay, could you please deep dive about the text on images? Is that count towards SEO?
I don't think that like if you have an image that has text on top of it, like already as part of a graphic, then I don't think that would count towards SEO. But image and text separately will count towards SEO. I don't know if that makes sense. Like if you made, like, for example, if you used Canva or something else, Photoshop, and you made a graphic and you had an image and you put text on it, Google's not going to be able to read that. But if you have text and you have, okay, good. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, let me see. Okay. Yes, Emily will be able to assist you once you work on your webpage. Yep, and how to improve and provide guidance as well.
Yep, I can review it, give you feedback, give you some suggestions. Happy to do that.
Okay. All right, so I said once again, I want to thank you all for attending today's webinar. And if there's any particular questions, concerns, don't hesitate. Shoot me an email. I will put it in the chat right now, so I'll be able to guide you to the best of my ability. To connect you with the appropriate consultants, resources, and information of our upcoming events, to carry the conversation to the next phase of your business needs. So once again, I want to thank you all for attending today's webinar, and I'll be seeing you soon. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.